Alors là,
voilà, il faut être fier de qui on est à l'instant,
de sa culture,
fier de sa culture. Là, on a vu des artistes, la plupart originaires du Nord-Ouest, voilà,
très belle chanson
pour dire qu'ils sont fiers de où ils sortent, de où ils viennent. Et là, on va parler d'autre chose à l'instant, c'est le mercredi, et nous adressons. Tu sais qu'on a le petit cours, la petite formation le mercredi à cette émission. Donc, la semaine dernière, on parlait d'un sujet super important qui était comment avoir l'argent de façon facile.
Comment être libre financièrement.
Voilà, financièrement, donc avoir l'argent. Et aujourd'hui, on va revenir à un autre sujet technique pour sustaining a business, pour maintenir un business. Voilà, donc avec nous ce matin, il s'appelle Javnyuy Joybert. Je préfère le prénom Joybert. Voilà, donc il est avec nous ce matin. Bonjour et bienvenue. Good day.
Thank you so much. Good morning to everybody. It's good to be here, and good morning to the televiewers. And it's exciting to continue from where the people that God love already started talking about financial freedom. And one thing about financial freedom also means that you need to know how you can also manage a business, because it takes a lot of things to experience financial freedom. Good.
Ok. Je crois que comme on était la semaine dernière avec Monsieur Godlove, et aujourd'hui on va parler de techniques to sustaining a business, les techniques pour soutenir un business. Et c'est une chose merveilleuse de savoir quand on lance une affaire et que les choses se passent très bien, Calvino. Maintenant, comment est-ce que tu vas faire pour que ton affaire ne tombe pas? Ou alors, comment tu vas faire pour maintenir ton business? Donc, c'est autant de choses qu'on verra tout à l'heure avec Joybert. Parce que
ça veut dire que Joybert va nous donner les fondements solides.
Oui,
parce qu'il y a certains gens qui ont l'argent, lancent une affaire, ils n'ont pas pensé au préalable, ils n'ont pas de fondements. Moi, je pense qu'on donne cette technique, c'est cette technique-là qu'on va utiliser, Mère Grace.
Oui, cette technique
qui vont nous faire.
Oui, cette technique qui, j'espère, certains vont appliquer pour l'année 2021, que nous donnera Monsieur Javnyuy Joybert.
C'est mieux son prénom.
Joybert. Good morning.
Un très beau prénom en tout cas.
Thank you so much.
Un très beau nom aussi qui vous dépasse à prononcer.
It's simple. It's just Javnyuy Joybert, as in Gilbert, as in Albert.
Javnyuy
Joybert.
Joybert. Javnyuy Joybert.
Yes.
Okay.
Special name.
I see. Okay. So you will see. You see.
All right, so today we're focusing on techniques of sustaining a business, and I think it's a very important topic at this season. You know, December is a very important period in every business life cycle, and every serious founder, every serious executive now should be doing evaluation of how was 2020, and we know that 2020 was a very big chaotic year for every business person. The shutdown as a result of COVID-19 and crisis here and there, but then some people still thrive and they're still here, and they also plan for the next year, and everybody is hoping that 2021 should be a very good year, not as bad as 2020. And it's good that we talk about these techniques on how to sustain a business, especially in the Cameroon marketplace, because it's very challenging. You know, if you read research, you will get to read that if 10 people start a business, 8 will die before they reach the 4th year, and just 1 may reach the 10th year, and just 1 may survive after the 10th year. So the question is, what caused these businesses not to survive after 10 years or after 5 years? As I always say, it takes more than money and a good idea to run a sustainable business in Cameroon. It takes a lot more. Because sometimes people are excited, oh, I have a very innovative idea, or I have investments, I have funding, I think now I can succeed in business. No, it takes much more than that. It takes a lot more to succeed. And when you look at your community, you look at your quarter, you look at your town, you see that year in, year out, people start businesses, and maybe 2 years down the line, you don't find the businesses again. Is it that they did not, they don't have the right product? the right service, or they're in the wrong market. Sometimes they have the right product, the right service, they're in the right target market, but they are not succeeding. Why? Because to run a successful business requires a lot of skills and techniques. And that is why learning, education, and attending trainings is very important for every successful business person. If you read those who have made it so far, they will tell you that one of the most important pillars in running a good business is being able to master the skills and the competence you need to run a good business. Therefore, if you're following this right now, get a journal, get a pen. If you are in the office, if you watch television in your office, maybe get some guys from your office to sit down and let's go through this for the next 1 hour or so. And I guarantee you that you will learn some new things and you will be able to build a sustainable strategy after this 1 hour session with me. And I'll be sharing with you 8 to 9 techniques that you can put in your business. And these are general techniques. But when you come now to us, maybe when we're doing customized consulting, the way we can build sustainable strategy for a technology business, an agricultural business, a fashion business is totally different from every other business. So if you're ready, you have your journal, you have your pen, we can begin with the techniques.
Okay, and then for now, how to we start with what?
Yeah.
The first chapter.
Absolutely.
To sustain the business.
Yes, good. And to sustain a business is a process. You can call it a system.
What do we need to sustain a business?
Absolutely. And those are the key techniques I'll be sharing with us today.
Okay.
Because, and as I was saying, when you say sustain a business, it means it's a process, it's a system. And there are many things that I would say about sustaining a business that maybe many business people do not pay attention to. Because when you talk about business sustainability, a lot of people think about having a good product, having a good service, having a good team, making sure you're in the right market and all of that. These are very important things to talk about. But many a times we get to leave some important things and focus on the less important things. And to sustain a business, we have number one technique, knowledge about their industry. Every business functions under an industry. Let's assume that this is an industry. And in an industry, it is made up of sub-institutions or businesses that makes up an industry. And you cannot function in an industry without paying attention to the industry. For example, STV is an institution under the media industry. And for STVs to remain sustainable year in, year out, they need to pay attention to the media landscape in Cameroon and Africa. Because you cannot design products and services in an industry you don't know how that industry performs. And one thing always happens when you don't pay attention to your industry. When an industry evolves, you always get lost in the midst of everything. And now in the midst of technology advancement, we're in the fastest business changing landscape ever in the history of humanity. And with all of these changes happening, if you are in an industry, it's very important to pay attention to the industry. So I always say, for example, look at your industry. Who is the most innovative partner in the industry? Maybe STV could look at, okay, which other televisions are doing things that we're not doing? That's just industry knowledge. What are we doing that they are not doing? That's industry knowledge. What do people like to watch on television? That's industry knowledge. Just pay attention to that. That's one pillar that you need to sustain your business, because if you don't pay attention to this, one important thing will happen. The industry will evolve faster than your business, and when that happens, automatically you are second place. Pillar number 2 in sustaining a business: ideation and idea validation. What does that mean? In a business, it is important to consistently always making sure that what you have as a service, as an idea, fits the market that you're looking at. And one of the best ways to do this is to do what I like to call idea validation. What do I mean? I cannot assume that you like, what do I say, a white shirt. I need to validate that you like a white shirt. Maybe I can come to you and I ask questions to you. So one of the pillars in sustaining your business is to ensure that you are capable to validate that the idea that you are taking to the market fits the market that you're looking at. So what am I saying? Do not sit in your house and assume what the customers will buy. It's very important to validate and make sure that the market needs what you have. Because what guarantees that you'll be sustainable? If people consistently buy what you are selling. So if nobody is consistently buying what you're selling, you will not be sustainable. And how do you guarantee that as weeks go by, months go by, years go by, people always need your service? Validate that your service is needed in the market. And that is why when you do idea validation as a business person, you understand that your product falls between two categories: a nice to have product and a must have product. Now, how do you know that it's a must-have product? Talk to your target market. This is what I'm producing. What do you think about it? Will you buy at this price? Will you buy this particular product? Because if you keep on assuming what the market will want, you will not guarantee sustainability. But if you keep on validating to be sure that the market will need what you're selling, you will always guarantee sustainability. So the second pillar to making sure that you guarantee sustainability is to always practice ideation and idea validation. You can do this maybe every year. As you go into the next year, try to rearrange your products. Look at what are we providing as services. Are these products still relevant in the market? Will people still like to buy this product? I like Jeff Bezos, the richest man in the world. He always say that Amazon, they always treat Amazon, the company, as a startup every single morning. Why? Because they're always conscious to make sure that whatever Amazon is providing to the market is always relevant. Good. Let's look at pillar number 3. Build a strategy. What does that mean? It means that you cannot run a successful business out of guesswork. I always say that you don't build an amazing business by guessworking actions, activities. You need to sit down with your team, with your business consultant, if you have one, or made a business coach, and you guys intentionally build a strategy around your business. So, and when you start building a strategy, you are paying close attention to how do we make sure that we are not taken by surprise by the market? How do we make sure that we are not guessworking what the market wants? How do we make sure that our products are perfect as far as the market is concerned? And as far as sustainability is concerned, you can build 3 key types of strategies. Number 1 is growth strategy. Basically, this strategy answers the question, how are we going to grow? Like, for example, let's assume that you run a restaurant right now, and for now, the restaurant just operates in your quarter. You can now sit. If you want to run a sustainable restaurant that will consistently bring you income and serve the market, you need to build a good growth strategy. Maybe the strategy will be simple. Let's replicate the restaurant to more quarters. Let's open in Bonaberry, in Makepe, in Bonamosadi, in Akwa, in Yaoundé. Replicate it. Have a growth strategy and have a time plan on how you're going to grow. Number 2 is stability strategy. Now, what does that mean? Now, this strategy works a lot in the midst of crisis. Like when COVID-19 came, one of the major things that we did with our clients was to guarantee their stability. Like somebody came to me and said, Joybert, I just want my business to stay alive in 2020. I don't want it to die. So what the person is asking for, stability strategy. Always have a clear plan on how you can make sure that your business will not die. Because you cannot sustain what is dead. You can only sustain a business that is moving. So pay attention to stability strategy. What can we do on a daily basis to make sure that we are stable? And one of the pillars to do that is make sure that you have validated your idea. Don't guess what the market will want. It's not good for business. And number 3, have a reinvention strategy. Now, you can only sustain what is relevant. So it means that if your business is dying down, because there are 2 types of businesses. Some that are reinventing and they stay relevant in the market, and some that are not reinventing and they're dying out of the market. And you know, business is a silent war. People are fighting for market shares. And one of the main ways to remain sustainable and gain a market share is to have a reinvention strategy. The question you're asking here is, what can we consistently do as a business to make sure that we are producing the new things that the market wants? Now, there is a popular research going around saying that one of the major effects that COVID-19 have left in the marketplace is change in customer buying behavior. What does that mean? The way customers buy has greatly changed as a result of COVID-19. For example, more people would like to buy online now. So if you have just a basic Facebook page and you can effectively help people to buy products and you deliver to their houses, you may be able to have more customers right now. People are paying attention to their health and making sure that they don't get open or exposed to COVID-19. And right now, in the midst of these festive seasons, people are avoiding traveling a lot or moving around the city. So there's a lot of change in customer buying behavior. So how can you reinvent your strategy in serving customers? Maybe previously you were not doing door-to-door delivery. You can now create a door-to-door delivery and add to your business. That could be a reinvention. You can add a new product to your business to meet the needs of people. For example, we had a client we were working with in Ethiopia, and normally what they were doing was dressing. They were doing nice cabas and shirts for the African wears. But when COVID-19 came, we had to work with them and do a reinvention strategy. They had to start making hospital gowns. Since hospital needed more gowns, people needed more face masks, so they had to reinvent and leave what they normally do and start designing products that the present market dispensation needs. So that is reinvention. So when you're trying to sustain your business, think of always building a strategy. Basically, do not run your business from a place of guesswork. And think of growth strategy, stability strategy, and reinvention strategy. Good. Let's go to number 4. We're in the 4th technique on how to sustain your business. And as we're going through this session or through this live session, think about it. Be thinking about your business. Look at where do I need to make changes, because business growth is all about practicability. You don't just listen and sit. You need to listen and start looking at where do I need to bring changes in my business. And very important, you have a team. Gather your team together. Analyze this, what I think we should be doing, what do you think, bring in your perspective, and let us grow the business. Point number 4 is commitment and strong will. Commitment and strong will. Here it may sound like a motivational speaking, but it is not actually. Commitment is one of the most important elements in running a business. Business is hard, very hard. It's not easy. You don't just run a business and you are successful.
Yes.
That's why the famous Dangote said, it took me 30 years to build an empire, to be an overnight success. And in business, when challenges come, when crises come, when your landlord is knocking at your door, when you need to pay employees, when many things get to happen as you run a business, one thing that you need to run a sustainable business is for you, the business person, the entrepreneur. You need to make sure that your level of commitment towards your business is unshakable. Because sometimes many things will happen, but if you give up as a person, the business dies. Especially if you are just starting, you are still in the early years of your business, where your business is directly linked to you as a person. So you need to check what is your commitment level to your business. As I always say, if you want to succeed in business, you need to make sure that it is future impossible tense for you to fail. It's not English, but it's communication. Basically, what am I saying? I always tell my clients that as you start this business or you want to launch this new product, anything is permitted to happen, but one thing is not permitted to happen. You are not permitted to give up.
Yeah.
Trust me, this is one of the most important elements that people leave in business. That's why sometimes you see somebody who give up in business, you're like, what happened? The market is there. The product is good. You have the money. But why are you giving up? Why are you not doing the business again? They have given up. There's that strong will, that commitment is not there. Because when things hit, not everybody know how to welcome crisis. Somebody said that before coronavirus came, some businesses already died. So COVID-19 was the coffin they used to bury the businesses, which is true. Like now we talk to people, they just blame everything on COVID-19.
Yeah.
You see, they gave up easily. And many a time there's this negative tagline on social media about the beautiful lifestyle that CEOs or young entrepreneurs get to live. But behind the scenes, these guys go through sleepless nights, pain and suffering and sacrifice to make these businesses get to work. And when you're going into business, one of the most important elements you have is what I call your interior greatness. Make sure you have made up your mind that this is what I want to do, I'm committed to this, and I'm not going to give up until this gets to work. And when you have a team, also talk to your team. Recruit your team beyond their certificates. Look at their passion, their commitment. Ask them, how much blood and sweat are you willing to put into this business for the business to work? It's very important. Commitment and strong will behind your business is very important for you to succeed. Number 5, to build a sustainable business. And this is one of the most popular lapses in many businesses in Cameroon. Operational systems. Operational systems. If you want to have a sustainable business, operational systems. Yes. For example, to make it very simple, it is how do you do things in your business? Like, for example, if you leave your business now for one day, for 1 week, if your business can stop operating in your absence because you are not there, you don't have operational systems. Operational systems means that you have maybe like a file or a documentation that maybe you are going to Yaoundé for a week, and you can hand over a folder to your assistant. Then look, with this folder you can do everything I do. You can look at how I welcome guests on the show, and you learn how to welcome guests without me teaching you. So what does that mean? You have written down a step-by-step process. This is how to welcome a guest on a live show. That's an operational system. Even that means your assistant or an intern can take that folder and learn how to welcome a guest in your absence. So whatever you cannot transfer to another person is not a system. Whatever you cannot transfer to another person is not generational. Now, I'm sure you know of many businesses that have died out in the market or died out when the founder died, or when the person who started the business died. Now, why do you think causes that? Many people who start businesses don't spend time to develop an operational system on how their business functions, and that is not very good for business. Now, why is it that family members or family businesses get to die very fast? Because the father does the business, and the father does not spend time to build operational systems or policies that they can transfer to the son or to another person to run the business in their absence. Or you go to an accounting department and the accountant has no system that they can pass to another accountant when they come in. So look at all those key areas in your business and start developing operation systems. And I always recommend, for example, marketing. What is the marketing operational systems? Customer service. What does it mean? How do we welcome customers into our business? Is very important for business. Look at distribution. How do we get this product to the customer? It's a very important system. If you're in manufacturing, have a manufacturing system. How do we manufacture this product? What are the steps we go through? Without an operational systems, your business is just hanging in by chance. The day you are not there, that business starts dying. Because there is no system that somebody can look at, oh, this is how we do things here. This is how we do things here. And they begin to replicate. Let's not go far. Look at many stores in the quarter. The day the owner dies, the store starts dying 2 days after or 2 weeks after. Because people come into the store, they don't know how to manage. They don't even know how the person goes and buy maybe Savon or Maggi or whatever they buy. Because there's no process, there are no contacts, there are no locations, there are no addresses. So you can even know how the father or the mom was doing the business. And there's no way it can be inherited.
But now I want to ask how we can do so that the business to be, comment on dit ça, pérennisé en
Explore.
Oui.
to stay longer.
Good, absolutely. That's why operating system is there, right? Because a business can stay longer than the founder.
Yeah.
A business is limitless, and we human beings, we have a short time. Now, how do I make sure that what I know stays when I'm gone? I can develop operational systems. Okay, this is how I do my trainings. This is how I design my trainings. And with these systems, I can give them to my assistants, to my trainers that I'm training, and they can use them even in my absence. Now, what makes a good business? A good business is a business that has systems in all moving parts. Like, for example, what makes STV are the moving parts that they bring together and they produce this show. The camera department, the production department, the receptionist, the management, marketing. These are moving parts that all have a role to play for this show to happen. Now, how do we make sure that if all of you are not here and the new people come and the show still exists, there should be operational systems. Okay, this is how we get guests to come for the show. We call this person, we tell them where the TV is. They come to the TV, we pick them up, we tell them to the reception room. There's a step-by-step process on how everything is done. That way, the business is always sustainable. So when you are not there, the business continues to run in your absence.
Mais je connais des gens qui font des entreprises, hein. C'est-à-dire qu'ils mettent des départements, comme vous dites là, ils mettent chacun son poste. Et ils se contentent de dire que si tu es, par exemple, je dis n'importe quoi à la caméra, contente-toi de ta caméra. Est-ce que des gens qui créent des entreprises ne devraient pas partager leurs pensées à tous ceux avec qui ils travaillent? Parce que je connais une femme qui travaille quelque part, on l'a pris dans l'entreprise, on a dit, bon, toi tu gères par exemple les messis. Bon, quand elle me posait la question pour savoir comment est-ce que ça se passe un peu le fonctionnement de la maison, tu contente-toi de ce qu'on t'a dit de faire. Est-ce que pour créer une entreprise, on ne devait pas partager celui qui a conçu par exemple, celui qui a le concept ne doit pas partager sa pensée à tous les employés afin que l'entreprise puisse avoir une même vision?
You see, when you start a business, right, there's a moment that you need to be a one-man army.
Yes.
Where you're doing everything. You are the marketer, you are the accountant, you are the production manager, depending on how your business functions.
Est-ce que c'est normal
Because what is it happens because when you start a business, you never have the money to pay everybody. That's one sign. So a good business person tries to say, okay, how do I direct money into the right areas and do everything? Then I use the business profit and I recruit more people. The truth is that very few businesses start at the beginning with all the staff. And only a business that has funding or somebody who has been working for years and has saved a lot of money and now start with that. And even is for how we advise our clients, we tell them, look, even if you have the money, start small. Why? Because you need to test the market. Make sure that you have a good product. Make sure people are buying. Make sure you are profitable before you can scale and increase more staff, more equipment, and in whatever direction. Now, the point is, many of young entrepreneurs, as you said, many of them don't know how they can leverage on, let me say, graduates. Because there are many graduates outside there who don't have experience, but they just left school. If they develop a good internship system that they can recruit interns, work with them, teach them, they can come and help them, they grow, and they can even employ them. We have done that with several clients who started, because you cannot be starting a business and your capital is 800,000 francs, and you want to bring all of it and put into staff. It doesn't make sense. You will not be profitable. When you're starting a business, you're focusing on how do we make more money faster so we can recruit more people then and scale faster. Good. And that's point number 6. Develop a living system. If you have a good business and you don't have the right teams, or what I like to call them a living systems. A living systems are a team, people that work in your business. Like you, the journalist, you are the living systems of STV. If STV has the building, the chairs, the cameras and everything, and you are not there, nothing works. And it's very important that every good business owner should always pay attention to the living system. And when your business starts growing, one of the first important things to pay attention to are the teams in your business. Because it is the team that grows a business. A system does not grow a business. It is the team. And one funny thing, there's a popular saying that the customer is the king and the queen. I disagree with that. It is the staff.
Le client est le.
J'ai compris.
Le client est.
Yes, because it is the staff that is the king and the queen. When you treat your staff well, your staff will treat the customers well.
Yeah, it's true.
That's what works.
Yes.
Because sometimes you cannot be forcing a staff to treat the client well when you, the business owner, you are not treating your staff well. One of the best ways to enhance customer service, I'm sure you agree with me that customer service in Cameroon is terrible. When people talk to clients anyhow, carelessly, supermarkets, restaurants, taxi men are so rude on the streets, hotels. One of the best ways to make sure that you have a good staff that treat their customers well as a leader, as a business owner, treat your staff well. They will transfer that treatment to the customer. So a living system is very important. And the second part is make sure you train them. Business owners should stop expecting a lot from team members when they have not equipped the team members to be productive. So if you want a team member, let's say marketing, if you want a marketing expert to be able to make sales in 10 million francs every month, it is your responsibility as a business owner to make sure that that marketer is equipped enough to make sure that they can make the sales of 10 million francs. Because in business, the level of money you are able to make is actually responsible or directly related to the level of competence or skill you have in that field. So if you see somebody that is able to make sales of 10 million, 100 million francs, check. They have mastered the skill of marketing and sales to the level that they are able to make that kind of sales. So, two things in having a good living system. And trust me, a good team is one of the most important pillars in a sustainable business. If you have a business that people come and resign anyhow because of your bad attitude or your bad way of treating them, you will not be sustainable. It's not good. So it is your responsibility as a business owner to make sure that you treat people the right way. And number two, train them well. It is good for business. Pillar number 7, I spoke about that briefly. High level competence. Let me bring it down again to STV. One of the things that can continuously make STV sustainable is determined by the level of competence that STV journalists demonstrate in their job. In the marketplace, in the business place, people pay for value. And what brings value is competence. So, there is one thing that can never be replaced in business: skills and competence. Many businesses die because the business owners, the employees, are less competent. For example, competence in business negotiations, competence in sales and marketing, competence in social media marketing, competence in how to talk to people, competence in communication, competence in public speaking. Now, you need to look at, as far as my business is concerned, what kind of competence do I need to have in order to be successful? For example, the kind of competence that a journalist needs is not the same kind of competence that a tech entrepreneur needs. You need to be highly competent in communication and speaking. For a tech entrepreneur, they need to be highly competent in coding and developing user-friendly apps and websites and technology that people can use. So your kind of business and what you do determines the kind of competence that you bring to the table. That is why one of the most important things that every businessman needs to consistently do is to consistently learn. Acquire knowledge, acquire skills, go back to school if need be, attend trainings if need be, get a consultant if need be, because your competence cannot be left to chance. It's very important for sustainability. Number 8, stay ahead of the game. What do I mean? Now, when we talk about sustainability, we are talking about making sure that your business remains in the market 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, and why not 100 years from now? When you register a business in Cameroon, a limited liability company, they say it's going to exist for 99 years. What does that mean? It means that the government is expecting your business to be sustainable for 99 years. And one of the best ways to do that is to make sure that you stay ahead of the game. What do I mean? Anticipate where the business is going to. For example, in 2010, for example, I don't think that many television channels were uploading their videos or doing YouTube live broadcasts. But now it is something that is very common around. That's staying ahead of the game. You anticipate where the industry is going to, and you intentionally do the things that your industry needs so that you can get there. So stop guessworking and hoping that these are the things you are going to design. It's imperative for you to do that. So pay attention to industry evolution. And the last point, track, grow, and make sure your core areas are efficient. Now, this is very important. Every business has core areas. Now, let's look at this. To make it very practical, let me use again STV, since we're watching STV right now, to be very practical. Now, like STV, what are the core areas of STV? The core areas of STV could be the production department. It could be the human resource, the journalists that we have. It could be the marketing to bring in publicity deals and all of that. Now, every business has core areas, and if you want your business to be sustainable, it's your responsibility to make sure that your core areas are always efficient. For example, for STV, the production department is made up of cameras. So for STV to be sustainable, they need to make sure that this department of production should be very efficient. They should have up-to-date cameras, they should have up-to-date technicians. This should be, and everything here should be very, very effective. Now, the second core area could be the human resource. There's no media house without journalists. So this is a very important core area for STV. Then to make sure, how do we ensure that our staff are very efficient, they are productive, they are up-to-date with knowledge? It's very important for business, you see. So it is imperative that as a business person, pay attention to your core areas. Now let's look at, for example, a transport and delivery business. Their core area could be the car they use to deliver goods to offices, to houses. They should pay attention to that. So if you are watching this, look at their core areas. What are those moving parts that if you take away from our business dies? That's what I mean. So if you take away cameras and media production from a media house, what happens? There's no media house again, because that's what they use to produce content. So every business has core areas, and for your business to be sustainable, it's the responsibility of the chief executive to make sure that these core areas are functioning effectively. And in many small businesses, there's always limited resources, so you need to be very strategic. When you look at, okay, we have many moving areas in a business, but which areas need more money than others? So that's why in a business, for example, a department may need more money than another department. Why? Because that department is the central piece of your business. So you cannot be sustainable in business when you don't pay attention to your core areas, and not only paying attention, but making sure that the operational processes of these core areas are very efficient. Small businesses, large companies, whatever, is important to pay attention to this. So to conclude with one simple sentence, maybe if there are questions, never assume and execute. You don't run a business by assuming and executing. You need to pay attention, analyze, and be sure that what you're about to execute is right, will be productive, and if you make errors, there's a way you can improve and build a better business, and then you'll be sustainable.
Wow.